My first name is Corey, and my birthday is August 20th. And currently I am 30 years old. Yeah, I'm an old guy. Let's see, what are the next batch of questions up here? Meow! Mufasa's meowing in the background. Let's see. What is my ancestry and ethnic background? Well, so it's a video you can pretty much see. But mostly my family's pretty much diverse. It's the only way I can put it. Yeah, mostly from England, Europe, Mediterranean area, and a little bit of Native American sprinkled in. Yeah, get tongue-tied a little. And I have a cat going crazy somewhere. Yes, I'm talking about you. And that's pretty much my ethnic background. Let's see. Next question up. What color are my eyes? They're kind of a blue-green, hazelish kind of color. Kind of hard to determine. But every time I go to get an ID done, well, when I was a kid at least, people would have to tell me what my eye color is. Because I don't really pay attention. What different places have I lived? Well, I was born in Virginia, and then my family joined the military, moved to Georgia, and after that, Germany. After Germany, we moved to Arizona, then back to Virginia, Maryland, Georgia, back to Virginia, Maryland, and now I'm in West Virginia. Well, I answered that one too. Where was I born? I was born in Virginia. The Eastern Shore of Virginia, to be exact. In a little town called Nassauwattucks, which is land between two waters. It's pretty much on a little sliver of land that everyone forgets to draw into the map of the United States every once in a while. And when I do see it, it's pretty rare, except for weather channels. Because then they're like, oh, hurricane's going to hit right about here. Yeah, that's where I was born. Very tiny community. What is my favorite food? That's a tough one. Alright, shoot. What is my favorite food? It's bad when you can't even think of that answer. Mostly anything that I can cook myself. Or that my mother has cooked for me. Like, sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie. Let's see. Homemade macaroni and cheese. That is always good. And it's from my grandmother's recipes. It is very delicious. And that's all I can think of offhand. What time do I usually go to sleep? That depends on what I have to do the next day. If I have to go to work, or if I have to take my mother to the hospital, or I have to do any number of things. It really depends. But usually I try and get to sleep a little after midnight, as usually I have people that I talk to online that are on the other coast, or are just getting up at that time because they live on the other side of the world. Time zones. let's see. Well, other creative outlets I enjoy. I draw and color a couple things. Yeah, sometimes I write, edit other people's stories when they ask me to. I used to write a lot and kind of fell off on it a couple of years ago. And I used to do a webcomic series. But I kind of lost interest on that because I wrote myself into a corner and I couldn't write myself out. Kind of one of those things that very hard to do. And do well. Other characters. Yeah, I do have one that I RP as, other than Alexandria. And that one is a secret one. Even though some people already know. But yeah, it's a little fun character. As for other ones that I have planned, I had some ideas, but I'm not very sure about them yet. We'll have to see what the future holds. What type of music do I listen to? What are some of my favorite bands? Since my dad was a musician before joining the Army, he pretty much exposed me to a whole bunch of different types of music. So as a fact, I don't really have any specific specific favorite bands, I should say. Yeah, I get tongue-tied easily for some reason, especially on videos. Mostly type of music I listen to can range from Frank Sinatra, big band series, to hard rock, metal, soft rock, what is now called classic rock too, blues, jazz, classical music. Like I said, the works, basically. Yeah, one of the bands I listen to a lot is Foreigner, Journey, ZZ Top, Def Leppard, sometimes Aerosmith, Black Sabbath, which, yeah, I find I can sing some of the songs, but not very well. I'm not a very good singer. What are some favorite ships I have for Alexandria? Ooh. Well, I try not to ship them with anyone because I don't like to ship a character without the other person's permission. And a lot of times it can vary, but as for some relationships with them, Abaddon, which is probably an interesting friendship. Henrietta is another one. And Luth, I'm starting out with that one. That'd be an interesting friendship too. I'm not really sure about any other ships. There's some other characters that are very fun to interact with them. And I like the RPer as characters too. Okay, let's go to the next one. Hopefully I can answer that one satisfactory. How did you create Alex? That's a little toughy. I think I already outlined it. Of course, trying to recall everything that I wrote. I just basically sat down one day and said, I wonder what will happen if I create a character for Skyrim. I had a basic idea laid out using different archetypes. And I also used things that I actually experienced in real life. Pardon me, I have a cough drop in my mouth. Just fighting off a little bit of a cold. And basically, I went from there. Basically, I had a nice idea of what would happen if a guy depended on a lot of storybook material on how people acted and extrapolated it from that. And of course, all of the damages that he's had mentally over the years have compounded it, so that it formed his own reality. But that is slowly being changed because of his interactions with others, which is part of the reason I created him. And one of the fun things about him, because each new RP that he is in changes him. Bless you. Mufasa's over there sneezing. How many Elder Scroll games have I played? Thus far, only Skyrim. Yes, I know. It is terrible. I have only played Skyrim. But before I get into any RP series or RP group, I like to do research on things. So I actually researched the entire world, mythos, lore, legends, everything that I could find, and I helped incorporate it into the character as well, which I hope I did. Had a couple of hiccups now and then, but given all the things that is in his character, with him being tortured for 20 some odd years, and him being out of the loop, it kind of makes up for things a little bit. His mind kind of going cuckoo. You okay in there, Mufasa? Do I agree that Freddie Mercury is awesome? I cannot argue that fact. Everyone likes to listen to some Queen every now and then. If you don't, what is wrong with you? Okay. Wow, what is my favorite animal? I guess that would have to be felines, cats, which, since I've always had a cat in my life somewhere around mine. Let's see, Mufasa is... I think about 7th, 8th cat I've had in my lifetime, or that I've known. And yeah, I guess you can safely say cats are one of my favorite animals. What's the most difficult and most fun part of writing Alexandria? Well, it's keeping a character sometimes, which is sometimes difficult, and all the different interactions, because each time I have him in an RP, he is in sometimes different time zones in order to keep it correlating right with different people. And it can be a bit difficult at times trying to keep track of it all and his development as a character, because like I said, each RP changes him, because he is progressing and developing differently depending on the interactions with others. Like before, he considered vampires nothing but monsters to be killed and everything, but then he had Henrietta, and now he doesn't quite see them that way. It makes him a very interesting character. He's growing, developing, changing almost all on his own. All through interactions with other people and their characters. It makes it fun, but also makes it kind of difficult when sometimes the interactions don't quite go well, but as difficult as that might be, it is also fun. I don't know why it's fun, but it is. What am I playing right now? Well, there's Skyrim, which I have yet to play and beat the whole game yet. There's so many hours of stuff to do in there, and I only have so many hours in the day to work and play and do everything else. But I also play different puzzle games, which are also fun, and Fallout games. I pretty much got the entire Fallout series, which is fun to play. Still have to beat the other ones in there. Okay, let's see what the next question has in store. Dun, dun. Oh. What other games do I enjoy playing? I kind of answered that in the last one. But as apart from computer games, one game I like to play a lot was checkers, which I am very good at apparently. So good that people basically stop wanting to play with me. Yeah. And it kind of gets bad when you're so good at something that, and everyone pretty much knows it, they don't want to play with you. Now, what got me into the Elder Scrolls? I would have to say it was the RPs, because one of the people I followed on Tumblr was actually RPing some Elder Scrolls things, and it got me curious about it, along with the advertisements on TV, everything, because I was kind of out of the gaming loop for a long time. One of the things about not having a great deal of money is you can't expend it on games a lot. But afterwards, I got into it, and I like it because it is something that interests me. I've always been interested in swords and fantasy stories and settings. It is one of the few things that kept my interest over the years. When did I first begin RPing and how, basically? Okay. Well, it's so very long ago. About 1990s about? Yes. That was a very long time ago. And I started out first on Instant Messenger, which then progressed to playing on forums. With the Instant Messengers, we sometimes kind of jostle the camera a little bit. Hopefully it's alright. It was one-on-one sometimes. Sometimes we would have chat rooms, or we would have multiple ones linked up, where we had different people on different IMs, and we'll have one person as the archivist. What we would do, we would each take turns. One person would say something on the IM, they take that interaction, and they'll copy it over to the next person. They'll put their interaction, and they'll copy it over to the next person, and it'll eventually make it to the archivist, who is also taking part of it. And we see how everything lines up, and we RP from there. Basically, it goes all the way through the line. Once it gets to the last person, it goes all the way to the beginning, and we keep on going that way. Kind of with the forum base too, which I was in charge of an RP forum once. And basically, it was all turn-based. You'd have a certain amount of time to reply. If you didn't reply, it would skip to the next person in the line. And it worked pretty well. For a great number of years, if I remember. I think I was going to say this one for last, but I'll answer it. Warrior, rogue, or mage? Mostly I play as a warrior type character. I guess it just fits my persona, or my personality at least, because I always charge in. Kind of, at least. I like to think, and then weigh my options, and then go in. Yeah, I do that a lot. I remember playing some RP games or just regular computer games where it was simple AI systems. And for some reason, there was a tiny corridor, and all the NPCs that were on my team all decided to run right through it and got killed. Despite me telling them, no, don't do that. That was a completely random story, but kind of more of a warrior rogue mix. But given the choice between three, kind of like the rogues for charismatic side, and the warriors for strength, and the mages for their smarts. But mostly, warrior, I guess, at heart. Certainly not dashing enough to be a rogue. And the next question. Personal question. I'm curious how my mom's doing. Well, I'm not afraid to answer that. Since I'm recording this on Friday, she's currently with my dad, who's taking her to Bethesda to be treated for her latest round of cancer treatments. And she's doing somewhat better. Right now she's been in a lot of pain because of the weather changes. Because she's had reconstructive surgery on her foot, which was several years ago, but they left all the metal pins and everything to hold bones together. And every now and then when the temperature drops or it gets colder or pressure changes, it causes pain in her feet. And then there's part of her liver, which was killed off due to the cancer treatment. It actually crystallized, they said. Which is kind of odd to hear, but it's the best description that they could come up with. So every now and then she gets sharp pains in her side from her liver. And she's not able to stand for long periods of time without being in pain. So. But all in all, she's doing a lot better than what she was. She's no longer confined to a bed, which she was for a while after her treatments began. But yeah, she's doing okay. Slowly gaining strength back every now and then. And sometimes she has good days, bad days. All in all, we just have to wait and see see how everything turns out. Am I ever going to make an actual sweet roll from Gourmet Gaming? Yeah, I might. I'm on kind of a low carb diet, which sugars are kind of carbs. So, yeah, I have to be careful with that. But I might make one. Be interesting to make one, actually. I have a kitchen I can actually use it. I do like to bake sometimes. So, yeah. I'll give it a try sometime. Of course, I need to find someone to eat it with. Maybe my nieces will help me. Adventure Time or the regular show? I don't watch that much TV nowadays. Other than news, weather, and a couple of older shows. And some shows I get on Netflix, such as Star Trek. But I've seen more Adventure Time than I have regular show. Yeah. So I get some of the references to there. Okay, let's see. The final question. Dun, 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 dun. Do I do any professional writing? And if I've considered it? I've had, like I said, I did webcomics before in the past and wrote some stories, but other than that, I've considered it. I haven't really done anything professional. I've sent in a couple of works, too, to be scrutinized by others. Such as I've sent in story scripts to Bethesda for quest ideas as part of job resumes, but they kind of turned me down. So they would keep my resume on file, which I guess is the polite way of saying you're not going to get the job. Well, that was the last question. So, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. It was fun answering questions then. And, well, y'all have a good day. I'll see if I can throw this together in the editor and post it now. Okay, let's see. My first name is Corey. And it's coming up with this. Okay, let's see. The first name is Corey. And for some reason it's not. You lay down right there, ain't you? Yep. You comfy? You are? You sure? There's a camera right there. You want to sit up? No? No, this makes it hard to record anything. You're right here in front of the keyboard. You look here, do you? Mufasa. Mufasa. Come on. Come on up now. Oh. Oh. There. How'd that? Claw hook there. There you go. Look at the camera? No. Purr, purr. So all you're gonna do is just purr, huh? I guess you can. Just see. There you go.